We want to thank everyone and especially thank everyone that's participating in the ARA Strengthening Communities group. And just briefly a little bit about the LORC. Of course, we're here to help the entire community with social services, information and referral. And of course, through the ARA, we're here to help all the other organizations to the extent that we can in terms of internal capacity building. The LORC assists people in Lakewood Township, Ocean County, and New Jersey. And the truth is that we also get inquiries nationally, people considering moving to New Jersey, or people just having general questions and not being satisfied with some of the social services in the area, and we even get occasionally international inquiries. Today's topic is going to be maximizing the initial interview, how this affects outcomes, and how it can, through the process at any point of improvement, assist in building the agency's capacity. Now, if you make an improvement at any point, you could yield short-term results that are more immediate as well as long-term results. And we're going to talk about that at length and give some concrete examples in general of how that can occur. Now, when we talk about the client interview, we're not only talking about a client. It could be a client, it could be a patient, it could be a student, a consumer, a customer, whatever term you'd like to use to define the constituents that utilize your service, whatever you provide. And of course, at all these points, the pre-interview, the interview experience, post-interview, they're all a series of first impressions. And the cliche is true that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. The facility itself, the cleanliness, how comfortable people are, their experience with your reception staff, support staff, and of course the professional staff that are going to conduct the interview. These all play a vital role. If you have a happy, satisfied client, patient, etc., not only are they going to come back for your services, but they're going to recommend your particular facility to other people, and that's going to automatically be a marketing tool. So that's how critical it is to make the right impression and have success at all phases of the initial interview. These are some of the areas that we're going to talk about and give ways how you can possibly improve these from the pre-interview, the forms that you use if you have any, or you're considering online capabilities, the experience in the reception area, the timeliness, if people are paying attention to privacy. And of course, we're going to talk more of these at length shortly. This is just a general overview of what we're going to be talking about. Referral and tracking, database, your notes, how you store your information. Is it paper? Is it electronic? The time frames, any tools or professional skills that you may use that can contribute to improving and maximizing the client interview, and making sure that your staff understand the goals and the critical importance of establishing a proper interview relationship and displaying proper empathy. If the client, patient, student, etc., is going to be comfortable and feel that they have an interviewer that's in tune with them and listening to them, you're going to get a lot more information, both verbal and nonverbal, and it'll help you to faster formulate whatever the goals might be to solve their problem or their situation and why they're coming to you for your services. And of course, there's the interview type, the styles, the goals, depending on exactly what you do, and how to glean information from other, the speech patterns itself, emotional patterns, body language, and then measuring the success of your interview. This is also very important, and how this can contribute to your outcome in terms of current and future funding. Now, let's get a little bit more in depth and talk about some of the areas a little bit more specifically. And the pre-interview experience. And again, this can contribute to actually improving and increasing market share. The first question is your availability. Are you available to your market, to your clients? Have you considered your hours of operation? Do you have evening hours? Do you have weekend hours? Have you even considered it? There might be working people that simply can't access your hours because of the times of day. I'd like to ask my assistant, Nathaniel Walensky, to run a poll now. If you just bear with us for a second, and we'd like to get a response as to when was the last time you reviewed your hours of operation? Okay, we'll just wait for the poll to close. Okay, this is, definitely something to consider if you haven't considered it. Your facility, the accessibility, I know we've had several times situations we hear a story that the person's driving around and around and they can't find parking and then they give up or they wind up late for their appointment, and then that runs into other logistical problems in terms of keeping timeliness on appointments. So these are all areas that you can take a look at and see, is there any way to improve any of this? Do you want to expand your hours of operation? And you could do it in extent. You might want to consider a split shift, for example. You have some staff coming and working a regular 9 to 5, and let's say you have other staff working 12 to 8, and now you have 3 hours of evening appointments available to accommodate working people. That might be one possibility where you can inexpensively expand your hours and make it more available. Your intake forms. Intake forms are very critical. They're critical for the initial interview to make sure that you get all the information that you need for the client, and they're critical in terms of potential future funding. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But are you getting the proper intake information? When was the last time? Can we, Nathaniel, run another poll? And we're going to see when the last time that you considered a review. Okay, we're just going to give it a minute for the poll to close, and then we're going to continue. Okay, great, thank you. Now, another area where you can consider to streamline your process, and perhaps, again, this can contribute to a better client experience and more revenue by having more appointments available, seeing more clients per day or per week, is perhaps you want to make your intake forms available online so people don't have to fill them out in the office. They can print them out, complete them, and then when they come into your reception area, you have all the forms completed already, cuts down on the wait time. If you really want to get technologically savvy, you can even consider having them a possibility with a completed template online and submit them electronically to you. Of course, if you're going to consider this option, you have to be concerned with encryption security because you don't want any of the information to be vulnerable to, to the world. So if you're going to do this, you have to make sure that your IT department is prepared to ensure the safety of the information. But just an improvement in any one of these areas can improve the client experience and may actually increase the amount of clients you could see, and that has short-term and long-term implications. Now,